5th Canto, 511. All right. Nam Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rajavacha Priyavrato Bhagavata Atmarama Katam Mune Grihe Ramatayan Mula Karma Bandha Parabhava Rajavacha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. King Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavrata, who was a great self-realized devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which is the root cause of the bondage of karma, fruit of activities, and which defeats the mission of human life? Purport. In the 4th canto, Srila Shukadeva Goswami explains that Narada Muni perfectly instructed King Priyavrata about the mission of human life. The mission of human life is to realize oneself and then gradually to go back home, back to Godhead. Since Narada Muni instructed the king fully on this subject, why did he again enter household life, which is the main cause of material bondage? Maharaj Parikshit was greatly astonished that King Priyavrata remained in household life, especially since he was not only a self-realized soul, but also a first-class devotee of the Lord. A devotee actually has no attraction for household life, but surprisingly, King Priyavrata enjoyed household life very much. One may argue, why is it wrong to enjoy household life? The reply is that in household life, one becomes bound by the results of fruitive activities. The essence of household life is sense enjoyment, and as long as one engrosses his mind in working hard for sense enjoyment, one becomes bound with the reactions of fruitive activities. This ignorance of self-realization is the greatest defeat in human life. The human form of life is especially meant for getting out of the bondage of fruitive activities, but as long as one is forgetful of his life's mission and acts like an ordinary animal, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, he must continue his conditioned life of material existence. Such a life is called the Sarupa Vismriti, forgetfulness of one's real constitutional position. Therefore, in Vedic civilization, one is trained in the very beginning of life as a brahmachari. A brahmachari must execute austerities and refrain from sex indulgence. Therefore, if one is completely trained in the principles of brahmacharya, he generally does not enter household life. He is then called a Naishtika brahmachari, which indicates total celibacy. King Parikshit was thus astonished that the great King Priyavrata, although trained in the principles of Naishtika brahmacharya, entered household life. For the words Bhagavat Atmarama are very significant in this verse. If one is self-satisfied as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is called Bhagavata Atmarama. There are different types of satisfaction. Karmis are satisfied in their fruitive activities. Jnanis are satisfied to emerge into the effulgence of Brahman, and devotees are satisfied to engage in the Lord's service. He is fully opulent. The Lord is self-satisfied because he is fully opulent, and one who is satisfied by serving him is called Bhagavata Atmarama. Manushanam Sahasreshu, Bhagavad Gita 7.3, out of many thousands of persons, one may endeavor for liberation, and out of many thousands of persons attempting to become liberated, one may achieve liberation from the anxieties of material existence and become self-satisfied. Even this satisfaction, however, is not the ultimate satisfaction. The Jnanis and the Karmis have desires, and so do the yogis, but devotees have no desires. Satisfaction is in the service of the Lord is called akama, freedom from desire, and this is the ultimate satisfaction. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit inquired, how could one who was fully satisfied on the highest platform be satisfied with family life? The word parabhava in this verse is also significant. When one is satisfied in family life, he is doomed because he must already have forgotten his relationship with the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj describes how the activities of family life implicate one more and more. Atma patam griham andakupam. Household life is like a dark well. If one falls into this well, his spiritual death is assured. How Priyavrata Maharaj remained a liberated Paramahamsa even within family life is described in text 23 of this chapter. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Datam Bhadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, the goal is to become Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa literally means supreme swan. Why literally supreme? You want to become swans? We want to become swans. Is that our goal? Take birth as swans? The supreme swan? No, it means swan-like. The swan has the ability, amazing ability, to take a mixture of milk and water, extract the milk and leave behind the water. You see. So here we are in this material existence. Is a hellish pandemonium, isn't it? It's a hellish pandemonium, if you haven't noticed lately. It's horrible, like a nightmare going on here. But the Paramahamsa, he has the ability to extract Krishna, you see, to find Krishna within everything and everything within Krishna, you see. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakaranakaranam. Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. He is an eternal form of bliss of knowledge. He has no origin. He is the origin of all, and he is the prime cause of all causes. So nothing exists except for Krishna emanating it. So Krishna is the supreme cause of everything that's going on here. So you can actually analyze philosophically and scripturally and intelligently and see how everything is actually coming from Krishna. You see. To remember those things that help us remember Krishna, those things that help us forget Krishna. I am the source of knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So everything is there by Krishna's arrangement, so we can actually see how Krishna is acting in every situation. In the Paramahamsas, the yogis, the jnanis, the karmis, and the chandalas, the dog eaters. We can see Krishna acting in every situation, in every way. Amazingly, the whole thing is actually orchestrated by Krishna. You see? Just like I was a kid, I played in the Houston All-City Orchestra. You see? Everybody had their instruments. There's the conductor, the violins, the cellos, the violas, the trumpets, the timpani drums, the whole thing orchestrated. You see? So this is also a big orchestra going on here. Krishna is orchestrating the whole thing. He's the supreme conductor and orchestrating the whole thing. So the trouble is, some people are out of tune. You see? That's the difficulty. Even though Krishna is supreme orchestrator, in this Kali Yuga, almost everybody is out of tune, creating chaos, you see. Even though they're part of the orchestra, they're out of tune. They're off the beat. We had a conductor who doing the thing, we had to follow the conductor, whatever beat he would do a motion to give the rhythm. We had to stay in tune with had to keep our beat going with the orchestra leader. So Krishna is beating, he's showing how we should be in harmony with him, but practically everyone in this Kali Yuga is off the tune, off the beat, etc., etc., etc. So the bona fide spiritual master comes as a representative of the supreme orchestrator to keep us on the beat. We always would see, is this pleasing to Prabhupada? That was the whole thing. When Prabhupada was here, it was the whole mood. I have to do this, I have to cook this offering in a way that pleases Prabhupada. I have to do this offer this arati in a way that pleases Prabhupada. I have to preach in such a way, I have to think in such a way, I have to speak in such a way, I have to act in such a way that pleases our most beloved Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamaditi Namane Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadesha Tadadem. This whole movement is based on the love of Prabhupada. The loving mercy of Srila Prabhupada is all going on, empowered, infused with the loving mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So what we have to do, we have to learn how to reciprocate with that loving mercy of Prabhupada. Is Prabhupada dead and gone? Nahi. Prabhupada is still here. He's still with us at every minute. He's fully manifested himself in the form of these Bhaktivedanta purports, in the form of a deity worship, like here. Today's morning we saw Krishna Balaram. I still meditate on Prabhupada offering the first arati to Krishna Balaram. So Prabhupada, they're actually Prabhupada's heart and soul, these deities of Krishna Balaram especially. And by feeling loving, try to evoke feelings of love and attraction for Krishna Balaram, that is connecting us with Krishna, with Prabhupada directly. So in this way we have to learn how to be in tune with Krishna, how to be in tune with Prabhupada, and we're in tune with Prabhupada, we're in tune with all the great acharyas and the whole disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam nirbrahmajarshayo vidu. We're now in tune with the whole line, Bhakti Siddhanta, Gaurkishore Goswami, Bhaktivinoda, Jagannath Babaji, going back to the Goswamis, Lokanath Swami, Srinivas Acharya. We get to actually be in tune, and you're in tune with all these great acharyas. What happens? Their mercy showers upon you like torrents of rain in India's monsoon season. That's pretty. I haven't been here with the monsoon, but I hear it's pretty heavy. But just imagine having torrents of rain of the great acharyas showering upon you like torrents of rain in the monsoon season. Wow, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? Wake up, sleeping souls. Wake up, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nija Jao Maya, Pisa Chira Kole. Wake up, you sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the lap of Maya wish? You see. One little trick I learned to stay awake, and you just kind of tap on the back of your neck. If you're not, you get nodding out. This works really well. You just tap on the back of your neck with your hand, go like this. Tap, 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 tap. It really works good to keep you. If you get real sleepy, you just can't stay awake. You just tap, tap, tap. It stimulates the brain. If you start nodding out, just tap the back of your neck while like this. Tap, 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 tap. Keeps you awake. It really works well. If you're a sleepy head, it's a good way to conquer it. Just tap on the back of your neck. It stimulates the brain. Helps you stay awake. So anyway, there's so much nectar here. What can we say in this few minutes of short Bhagavatam class? Of course, how long was the original Bhagavatam class? 7 days. What's 7 times 24? 140, but 100. See, 7 times 20, 140, 164 hours. Is that the math?
168.
Huh?
168 hours.
168 hours. 7 times 24 is 140 plus 20 is 168 hours. So okay, let's have a 168 hours Bhagavatam class. No eating, no sleeping, no going to the toilet, everything finished. No, and nobody nodded out in that class. I would have nodded out in the first 20 minutes myself. But no one nodded out in that Bhagavatam class. Everybody was tuned in, turned out, and blissing out, you see. Connecting with the amazing, amazing things here. It's amazing. I can't imagine how Shukadev could speak like this, you see. Just amazing. Like, can you imagine giving a class of pure poetry? I'm sitting here just giving a class and it's poetry here. Can you imagine just talking poetry like as a conversation? There's a few prose verses here, but it's 99, it's like 90%, maybe 95% poetry. Can you imagine just speaking poetry like you're having a conversation, speaking beautiful poetry like Samashritaye palapalaba pabam mahatmapam punyamashama vidaspatam Samashritaye palapalaba pabam mahatmapam punyamashama babambadir vatsa padam param padam badam yam badam natesham. This is a conversation. Can you imagine what kind of brains they have? What kind of realizations they have? Of course, that's one of the 26 qualities of the devotee is a poet. He's a poet. Poetry in motion. As they say in the spiritual world, all the talking is singing. It's actually poetic singing, not just singing. All the talking is poetic singing, and all the walking is dancing. So we can't imagine such a place. Just like they have a popular thing we call musicals. As kids, we used to go to the movie theater and watch musicals, like Sound of Music and there were famous musicals, where they'd be acting, they'd be breaking. Part of it would be singing and dancing, and that's part of the whole drama. They'd be singing and dancing. The Sound of Music, that was a very popular musical, where it's part of the acting. It's the singing and dancing is part of the normal acting of the people. So that gives us an idea of the spiritual world. The spiritual world is a gigantic musical. The whole thing is singing and dancing. And so we can actually try to appreciate it now by tuning into these great teachings of Shukadev Goswami. Tune into these great, great teachings, try to understand, and what's even makes it more relishable, you see, is Prabhupada's purport. I've been recently studying I read the whole Lilamrita again. It's just amazing to see how Prabhupada, I've been telling him about it lately a lot of times. It really can't be overstated. But it helps us actually understand the importance of these purports. If you see what Prabhupada went through, all the struggles in India with the League of Devotees being destroyed by somebody's plot to create a training school for women. I mean, it's this ridiculous defeats Prabhupada made. You understand these points? The one defeat after another defeat, Prabhupada kept writing these books. So every defeat. And then in America, he had to go through 7 places of residence. He had no money. He's living, somehow surviving 7 different places of residence before he got a permanent place at 26 Second Avenue. Can you imagine having to move all within 1 year, 7 different places of residence in 1 year? Can you imagine? But all the while, he's writing those purports. He's transcendental to all the, and then no money. They somehow got 26 Second Avenue, but no idea how they pay the next month's rent. No idea how to pay the next month's rent. Just depending on Krishna, but still those purports were going on in spite of all the ups and downs, heart attacks, so many difficulties. Still the purports were going on steadily. The purports, the Bhakti-Adatta purports are going on steadily, in spite of all the ups and downs. You see. So, and you read these purports, they are Prabhupada's ecstasies. Krishna is within Prabhupada's heart, dictating to him what to write. See, this is not ordinary, somebody is ordinary writing his thoughts down on a piece of paper, or a typewriter, or a dictaphone. These are actually coming from Krishna himself. The purports are as good as the slokas, you see. That's what we have to understand. And if you can dive deep, we can actually dive deep into every single sentence of this purport, every single word of this purport. We don't have time. We only have, we have 24 hours today. Not enough time to go. In 24 hours will be enough for the next class. If we minutely analyze this purport, we'll be going on to the next Bhagavatam class tomorrow on text number 2. That's how much depth there is. You understand these? That's how much depth there is in these purports. So we look in the beginning here, in the 4th canto of Srila Sukadeva Goswami explains that Narada Muni perfectly instructed King Priyavrata. See, what does that? Someone say, what does that do with us? Here we are in 2025. King Priyavrata. What do we have to do with King Priyavrata? Some Indian king. What do we have to do with him? One could ask. Why King Priyavrata? Why not Prime Minister? What is his name? Modi. What's your Prime Minister's name? Modi. Why not Modi? The current politician. Why some ancient politician? Well, King Priyavrata is a great Paramahamsa, that's what he said. Of course, there may be a pious politician who promotes ISKCON a little bit, so that's nice. But we're interested in Paramahamsas, you see. In fact, this book is also called Paramahamsa Samhita. It is a treatise for the swan-like class of men. That includes the women, by the way. We're all men here, different types of men. The swan-like class of men. Mankind, we say. We don't say mankind and womankind. We say mankind includes everyone. Human beings, we don't say humans. Humans. So we're all, we have male humans and we have female humans. We're all humans here. Mankind. So the treatise meant for the swan-like class of men. Paramahamsa Samhita. So what is the advantage of studying? I'm not a Paramahamsa here, I'm just some, basically just a lazy, crazy sense gratifier, really, it's my position. If we honestly look at ourselves, I'm so crazy, lazy, like a dog or something. That's my level. It's like a dog, a barking dog, woof, woof. That's my position. Maybe a pig or a monkey. What's my position? Well, the good news is for us dogs, hounds, and camels and asses are walking on 2 legs. The good news is, by associating with this Paramahamsa Samhita, by submissively hearing it, you understand? Submissively taking it into the heart, not just in the ears, but all the way down into the heart. By taking it down into the heart, guess what happens? By association with the Paramahamsas, one becomes what? A Paramahamsa. Would you like to be a Paramahamsa? Well, here's the place. Hear the Paramahamsa Samhita every day, and by that regular hearing of the Paramahamsa Samhita, you will become, in due course of time, a Paramahamsa. Isn't that wonderful? Wow, I get to become a Paramahamsa? That sounds pretty ecstatic. Isn't it ecstatic? I hear some low-class, lusty, crazy, angry dog in the street gets to become a Paramahamsa. Wow, just see what mercy. And what makes it even more powerful is divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Because this is spoken thousands of years ago, you see, to an audience that could understand it and appreciate it. But what us Kali Yugites what us poor little Kali Yugites can actually understand of this stuff. It goes way over our heads, isn't it? But the great Paramahamsa, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, has made it accessible to us Kali Yugites. You understand my point? Prabhupada has made it accessible to us Kali Yugites. Even to the Lower East Side and Haight-Ashbury hippies, Prabhupada made it accessible, you see. So we have a great opportunity here to tune in to Prabhupada's purports. They're the access point. Through Prabhupada's purports, we have access to the Bhagavatam. You see. So we have a great opportunity to tune in to that. So I can ask now if there's any questions. Guru Maharaji may want to add some words of enlightenment to pull us out of the darkness of ignorance.
To go only opposite direction.
She'll take us in the opposite direction. That means I'm taking you down to hell. What she's saying is that actually by my class, I'm taking you down to hell, and she'll actually save the class from going to hell. She's going to take us back to the upper. I'm going down. She's going to take us up. I'm sorry, I have to apologize that my class is actually taking you down to hell. But she will take up. She'll take us up to Krishna. I've been taking you down to the personality of Kali by my lecture, I'm sure. So you want to take us up to Krishna now, David? After I've taken down to Kali? Huh?
What?
You said you will take it in a different direction. That means I'm going down and you're going to take it up.
You talked about Srila Prabhupada, right? That is nothing wrong. But I may talk according to the verse, what is about the Grahastha life and how they can be above that. Prabhupada is a good example. He also had a Grahastha life.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And then we have Bhaktivinoda, we have Bhaktivinoda Saraswati, a Naishtika Brahmachari. We have Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was a magistrate, he had a government position, but he's given us the most wonderful, enlightening bhajans and teachings. You see. And Prabhupada said somebody asked, can we read the books of the previous acharyas? Prabhupada said yes. But don't jump over Prabhupada's books to read the previous acharyas. They come very well learned in Prabhupada's books. And there's a question of reading Bhaktivinoda or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we have any questions coming in?
Yes.
Okay, I saw your hand first.
Gurudev, what is the exact meaning to love to Prabhupada?
What's he saying?
Exact meaning to love.
I don't know. Say that again.
What is the...
exact meaning to love.
What was the word for meaning?
Exact.
Oh.
Exact. Okay, exact. It sounded like abstract. It didn't make sense, the abstract meaning. The exact meaning...
Love to Prabhupada.
Love to Prabhupada. Love to Prabhupada.
Loving Prabhupada. Love means obedience. If I love you, I say I love you, and then I don't... See, love means you want to please your beloved. That's real love. If love means I want to disturb your mind, if my so-called love I disturb you, then it's not really love. You see, actual love means you want to please your beloved. That's what it actually means to love someone. You want to please them. So that's honestly you have to please Prabhupada. We have to know what pleases Prabhupada and what doesn't please Prabhupada, and do what pleases him. Just like Prabhupada said, he didn't like the beards, for example. He didn't like beards. Many devotees are keeping beards, so that doesn't please Prabhupada. I sometimes get in trouble for speaking about this, but I sometimes get in trouble for complaining about these things. That people criticize me behind the back if I speak against beards, for example. But what can I say? I have to present what pleases him and what doesn't please him. It's my duty as a disciple to present what pleases him and what doesn't please him. So yeah, that's an example of not keeping the beards. I may be thinking myself very handsome with a beard, and the girls may be attracted to me, but that's not Krishna consciousness, you see. Love means to please your beloved. So what pleases Prabhupada, that's actually loving Prabhupada. Okay? Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Gurudev, we studied about the Grihastha life, that it's like an Andhakupa, dark well. Then we have seen like the Priyavrata Maharaj doesn't want to get into Grihastha, but even the demigod, the Brahma came down to tell him, say to get into the Grihastha.
Why did he get married?
Yeah, why even the demigod, this great personality came and told him to get married. So he was already...
Why is he considered an example?
I'm saying
she is asking that why all the demigods came and said that he must accept the Grahastha life.
Is that in which chapter? Is that in this chapter?
Yes, it will be coming.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't read that.
Yes.
I haven't gotten that far. I don't remember.
I can tell.
The point was one side it's mentioned about the Grihastha as a dark
It's Andhakupa.
Yeah, but other side...
But Priyavrata is Manu, and that is his duty to infest the material world with the living entities.
And in the purport itself, in the last line, it's mentioned that he was a self-realized, so his Grihastha life was also glorious.
So he can do that to manifest more and more living entity in the Because there are so many living entities has to be coming to the material world and they have to do it. So self-realized person is not going to get entangled.
So that means the qualification to get into Grihastha is one should be self-realized.
Yes.
So he may not get entangled.
Yes, just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
But nobody says that thing.
Yeah, nobody says that. That's what I'm saying.
They're just after Grihastha.
Yeah, they give you what you would like to be.
Anybody wants to type in a question in the chat window, that's also welcome.
You see what I can say?
Anything else?
Manu had two sons, Uttanapada and
Okay,
Priyavrata.
what is it? Yes, the question. It's my class. Don't you ask me the question.
In the purport, it is mentioned that the one who is enjoying household life, that person cannot enjoy the spiritual life. One who is enjoying household life.
You have to enjoy it one way or the other. You can't do both. There's a saying, you can't serve God and mammon both. That's a popular saying. So, if you try to enjoy household life, you're losing your ability to enjoy Krishna consciousness. Now, if you use your household life in Krishna's service, that's another thing. If you try to enjoy household life separately from Krishna consciousness, then you can't be Krishna conscious.
Okay. That enjoyment is talking about in the purport. But as a devotee,
Actually, if you engage your household life in Krishna's service, then you're enjoying Krishna consciousness. If you try to enjoy it separately, then there's no Krishna consciousness. Just like one may enjoy playing the drum also. Use it to sing, Beatles songs. That enjoyment is material. Use it to sing bhajan, that Bhaktivinoda Narottam, is transcendental enjoyment.
okay, so that transcendental enjoyment, when a devotee is purely a Krishna conscious devotee, then he will perform his duties in the household life also very nicely.
And then he enjoy it, yeah. Even Krishna says, I am sex life, which is not crunchable. Even sex life, even sexual intercourse is transcendental if it's used for producing Krishna conscious children, for example. The devotee can enjoy everything, but when he's using it all in Krishna's service, that's called pure enjoyment.
So Srila Gurudev, what should be like now the universal law is not like a balance, like more householders are there than brahmachari. So like what should be the ratio? Is it like 50% it should be like that, or how like?
In ISKCON we should set up a ratio. Let's have a ratio, we're only allowed so many devotees to be householders. The thing is, most of the people join are already householders. They're already married. We have how many people are actually brahmacharis in ISKCON compared to the householders? Maybe 5% or less. Maybe 1%. See, the thing in the old days, when I first joined, we had no Indians joining, no light. It was just all kids who had joined Prabhupada's movement. And we were all brahmacharis and brahmacharinis, the whole movement. And a few of them got married by Prabhupada's arrangement, so we had a small number. We still had a large number of brahmacharis. I remember in Gainesville it was maybe about eight householders and about 18 brahmacharis. That's not used to be in the old days. 18 brahmacharis and 8 householders. But then gradually it shifted because the Indians started joining. They were all married. Most of them are already married. Yeah, Devi?
All I can say, Prabhupada preached to the hippies, they were not brahmacharis. They were having her.
Oh yeah, they were. Actually, the hippies were all in free love. They were having sex with no restriction. But Prabhupada against them all to become brahmacharis and brahmacharinis by his preaching. They weren't Naistika brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. They were all, they called free sex. You could have sex with anybody you want, whenever you want. That was the standard for hippies. They called make love and not war. Make love means have sex. It was completely wide open. There was no restriction. So Prabhupada taught us illicit sex. This is illicit? It was like a shock. But Prabhupada convinced us to give up illicit sex and to take up brahmacharini life. That was his great power. He convinced the free love hippies to become brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. It's amazing power he had. Just see the power of Prabhupada is amazing.
They may have given up, but they could not become brahmacharis. Because once you have that sex, you cannot be a brahmachari.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, some of those became lifelong brahmacharis, to be honest with you. Now we have a question coming in the chat window. If our enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness is getting too much to handle for people around,
What?
do we need to sober the devotee relationship stay, or should I maintain the same enthusiasm level and maintain liberal relationships with diplomacy? How do you deal with non-devotees? If you're too fired up about Krishna consciousness, they shun you. How do you maintain your enthusiasm without being overboard with the non-devotees? That's what he's asking. Or, yeah, she's asking. If you're too fired up, they won't be able to they'd drive them crazy. You come to the office. So you have to be a little sober. If you want to work in some company, you can't come to the office singing, dancing. You have to become sober in order to get hired and keep your position. So you have to become subtle how you go about it, It's like I always get the example, my young brother put a Bhagavad Gita on his desk, and he meets somebody about it. You're being prashadam. The fact you have to be sober. It's the fact you can't be laughing like I was laughing. And all the foolishness of the karmis in your office. Somebody asked me, well, how do you deal with it? Krishna gave me a very good answer from the Nectar Devotion. Prabhupada actually quotes from the Mahabharata in the Nectar Devotion how a devotee relates with non-devotees. Devotee actually takes the mood of a father, or it could be a mother of the same mood, seeing them all as the children. And so the devotee actually sees them all as naughty kids, the non-devotees. So he's actually, the mood is be very merciful and kind to see these poor children, like children, they become lost and confused and bewildered. So I have been blessed with a higher understanding of more maturity, how I can actually help these naughty kids to get back on the track. So if you have that kind of a mood, you'll be able to relate very nicely in a way they will not be considered weird, you will be considered some wacko idiot. You can actually do them in such a way you become very highly respected in your workplace, wherever you are. So that's the real answer. Develop a mature mood as described by Prabhupada in the Nectar Devotion, and then they'll look up to you as a leader, actually. That's the whole idea. We are meant to lead the whole world, so we have to develop qualities of leadership. And that means sobriety and intelligence and cool-headedness in this way. Anything else? Yes?
Gurudev, like in this purport, it said that one is satisfied in family life, he is doomed because he must already have forgotten his relationship with the Lord.
Yeah, that means you're happy, you're not in devotional service, you're having sex life as much as you want with no restrictions, you're spending money without any restriction. The money comes, you don't care what it's for, as long as for sense enjoyment is all you really care for. That's the so-called satisfaction it's talking about. Not someone who's seeing Krishna as the proprietor, seeing Krishna as the enjoyer. One who takes, I'm the enjoyer, I'll enjoy my wife, I'll enjoy my kids, I'm the enjoyer, I'll make money, I'll spend it however way I can enjoy it the most. That's the so-called satisfaction being described. Not a devotee who's seeing everything as the property of the Lord, seeing the Lord as the enjoyer, and try to engage his household life in such a way that gives pleasure to Krishna. See the difference? Anything else? Let's see, we have another one coming in from the internet. Prabhupada Das. As a person prone to repeated sense gratification, how to be 100% steady in Krishna consciousness. This is a problem many of us have. We're addicted to sense gratification for thousands and millions, actually for thousands and millions of lifetimes. We've been addicted to gratifying our senses as the sole purpose of our existence. Totally caught up in bodily consciousness. This is a problem we all have, basically. Unless they're highly advanced devotees, us neophytes have this problem. We still have a tendency to gratify our senses instead of pleasing Krishna. So how do we overcome this tendency? Well, it's a matter of, first of all, of mental discipline. Like Jamunacharya Bandhu, the mind would get attracted by sense enjoyment. He would chastise his mind. He would spit at the thought of sense gratification. So it really begins. See, the mind is the central point of all the senses. It all begins with the mind. You see, if you let your mind go, it's like that verse says, "Indriyanam hi chadatam yanmano nuyadiyate." If you let your senses go wild, then your mind will follow them. You lose your intelligence. So the whole point is you got to keep that mind disciplined. Keep bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back to Krishna. Your rascal mind, come back to Krishna. You have no shelter other than Krishna. What does Narottam say? I've got no shelter but Radha and Krishna. Humbly praise Narottam Das Thakur. When the mind tries to find shelter in sense gratification, you have to say, mind, that's no good. Come back. You have no shelter except Radha and Krishna. So you got to be very strong with your mind, like a mother training the naughty kid. You have to keep bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back until the kid becomes used to properly behaving and stops being naughty. So if the mother is very stern and very steady in her training, that little kid will learn not to be naughty anymore. So the Telans is the mind and the kid's the naughty. The mind is the naughty kid. You got to keep bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back, bringing the mind back. Yato nishchalate manashchantadamastaram. From whatever and wherever the mind wanders, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. If you get your mind under control, the senses will all be conquered immediately. You don't have to worry about the various senses, the eyes, the ears, the tongue, the belly, the genitals. You don't have to worry about any of those things. Just get your mind under control. Everything else will follow automatically. Very simple. Bring the mind under control. Not that, but not Bhaja, but is it Govinda Das? Yeah. Bhaja Hure Mana Srinandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindude. My dear mind, please now engage yourself in the devotional service of the divine son of Nanda Maharaj. So just train that rascal mind, you see. Do everything you can to keep the mind engaged. Reading scripture, singing bhajans, going to holy places, associating devotees, hearing the class very submissively, taking prasadam but not taking too much prasadam. Regulate everything very nicely to help your mind stay fixed. And then once that mind is fixed, you're on the road to become a Paramahamsa and achieve Goloka Vrindavan.
In the beginning, one can perform material duties and practice Krishna consciousness, but is it necessary for to get free from all material obligations?
Oh no, you have to. Material obligation will still be there. It's like your body requires food, doesn't it, and rest. So you don't give up eating and taking rest when you become a Paramahamsa. Prabhupada also took rest. He took prasadam very nicely. So material duties will always be there. You just have to engage them in Krishna service. Take only prasadam and only take a sleep as necessary for Krishna service. So we keep doing the material duties, but do them in a Krishna conscious way. That's